So are you saying you don't have a smoke detector in your house? So your house is just going to go in flames one day? You don't have a smoke detector?
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We are trying something a little bit different tonight. Before we get into it, I just wanted to clear one or two things up here. Not last video, I think it was the video before that. I had a segment, it was a clip. If you guys recall, it was the one that had to do with the Second Amendment and taking a mental test or whatnot. Some of you guys, I thought you guys, majority of you would pretty much will know me a little bit better by now and can tell when I'm being sarcastic and when I'm being a little bit overly enthusiastic, when I'm agreeing with something that a liberal advises. Just to point out, since that school shooting in Minnesota, there's been several videos now where I've been talking about the Second Amendment can never, ever go. And majority of Americans owe their freedoms to people that refuse to give up the Second Amendment. I've explained in detail as to why I believe that, but I just wanted to clear that up. There was actually one young lady who unsubscribed from the channel. She said, I'm just as crazy as the liberals if I think that anybody should have a mental test for their Second Amendment rights, and I'm unsubscribing. I guess either she didn't listen to the full context of what I was talking about, or she just doesn't understand sarcasm. I sometimes relay a message through sarcasm, holding a completely straight face. My sense of humor has many different angles. Sometimes it's me giggling, sometimes it's me with a stone cold straight face. So just for future reference, if I'm ever going to actually agree with an opinion of a liberal, I will let you guys know that it's not sarcasm. Besides that, chances are if I'm overly enthusiastic about agreeing with them, chances are it's sarcasm, guys. And now, finally onto the video. I've rambled on long enough. I came across a monologue from Nick Fuentes about 10 days ago, 10 or 11 days ago, this monologue is from. I was gonna present it to you guys back then, but I felt maybe it's kind of a bit of a touchy situation to put on YouTube, but I have noticed some other creators have used the same monologue and they've had no problems with their channel, so it is something I would like to dive into. It's about 15 minutes long. I'm gonna break it up though. I'm gonna jump back and forth with you guys, and I have a few clips that I'm gonna throw in at the end that kind of correlate with what he's talking about here. If you guys are not familiar with Nick Fuentes, the guy's kind of got a bad rap, kind of like Donald Trump. He's known as a very far-right extremist. He's known as pretty much, well, to be racist. The same way I like to point out when somebody does or says something wrong, I like to call them out for it. I also like to call people out when they say something right. If you guys have not seen this clip as of yet, it is most definitely worth you seeing. It's definitely worth a listen. If you guys have already come across it, well, I do apologize. I don't want to waste your time. I'll see you guys next video. But again, if you haven't seen it as of yet, I ask you guys to go into it with an open mind. What he says makes a lot of sense. Detach your emotion. Doesn't matter what side of the playing field you're on, what culture you are. Detach your emotion and just listen to what he's saying. Let's get into it.
The reason that we talk about this, by the way, I know a lot of black people see this and they go, man, why are you always talking about black people, this and that? Because there just needs to be some shame here. Well, there's a few reasons. First, white people are every single bit justified in being racist. Every single bit justified, to the extent that that means going out of your way to avoid black people when you see them. Every bit justified. And you want to know why? Because we see what happens. And nobody is under any obligation due to liberal ideology to put themselves in harm's way. If you're a white person and you're going to work or going to the ball game or going to the city at night, you don't want to enter into the terror dome where you're suddenly in a sudden death match. You're like in the gulag in Call of Duty fighting for your life all of a sudden because you got on the wrong train car. Because a car full of black people pulled up on you by the bus stop. You turn and you walk the other way. You avoid their neighborhoods. You avoid going out on Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend at night in certain places. When you see them, you start walking in the other direction. And we are every bit justified because we see what's going on and we don't want to die. It's that simple. That's pattern recognition. That's not racism. That's pattern recognition. That's one.
Okay, we're only a minute and 45 seconds in. I wanted to jump in already because of what he just said, that's pattern recognition. That's not racism, it's pattern recognition. I think it's really important for people to focus on those words right there because it's the absolute truth. There is a massive difference between being racist and being smart. It's not racism, it's people that are truly in fear of their life, people that are not used to being in a rougher neighborhood. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not want to group in the entire Black community here with this. That's not my meaning here at all. That's not why I'm presenting this video. It's a certain portion that are harming the Black community. Just like I mentioned when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, a lot of them are okay people. We may not agree with their lifestyle, but there's the fringe few that ruin it for all of them. And this is one thing that the Black community needs to realize on a whole. Because of these people that feel completely entitled that they can do whatever the hell that they want and that society owes them everything is ruining it for the rest of the Black community. So it's really important to notice the difference, and they're far between each other, between actual racism and pattern recognition that you want to live.
And two, I really hope, because I'm rooting for Black people, like I'm rooting for humanity. I'm rooting for everybody to be safe and to be healthy and to be happy. I really hope that somewhere out there, although I'm not optimistic, Black people are starting to develop some sense of self-awareness. Where's the shame? Aren't you people ashamed? When I see these clips of the graduation ceremonies where they're twerking on stage and dancing, when I see these videos of the Black cheerleaders on the basketball court brawling it out, when I see the Carmelo Anthony, and not only that, but then they raise $500,000 for him and then they get a public defender. When I see that video of a Black security guard rifling through the pockets of an unconscious white guy that got his ass kicked, and the list goes on and on and on. You have to ask the Black people that are normally so proud, and with the chip on their shoulder, aren't you ashamed? Are you not ashamed when you see these things? Are there any Black people that see this and have the slightest lick of self-awareness, of common sense, of decency to say, are you not ashamed to see these scenes play out over and over again? Where's the accountability? And this is where that word fatigue comes in. We're just tired of seeing it. You see these clips and you know every race of person, maybe except for most Blacks, white, Chinese, Indian, Hispanic, and even liberals see these clips and they say, are you surprised? They shake their heads. They say, yep. Usual suspects. They say, yep, that's about right. Are you not ashamed? And when are Black people going to turn that around? I'm so sick of, and I think all of society is sick of, hearing about all these excuses. And even the conservative Blacks will give them, like Jason Whitlock is a perfect example. When I gave a similar monologue about Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, Jason Whitlock, who's a Black conservative at the Blaze, said that this is a demonic sentiment. He said the problem is a lack of Christianity or something or other. The problem is a lack of accountability. And I think a lot of Black people hide behind these various things, whether it's the liberals that say it's slavery and racism, or it's the conservatives, and they blame it on welfare, hip hop, or the Great Society. It starts with you. It starts with every individual Black person making choices, like we all do. Who's raising these fucking people? Who's raising these people? It's other Black people. It's baby mamas and baby daddies. I mean, who's perpetuating this? And who does it benefit to make these excuses and to say it's everybody else? So I see this stuff and look, yeah, we are going to call it out. We, the Americans, we the white people of America, we the peaceful, law-abiding, tax-paying people of America are saying, hey, Blacks, get your shit together. Get your fucking shit together. We are fucking tired of you. We are tired of seeing this stuff. It always seems to be you. Do you know that, and I'm just expressing what is a common sentiment, Do you know that everybody thinks that if we snapped our fingers and you all disappeared tomorrow, everybody thinks our quality of life would go up? Do you realize that? I'm just saying it. Everyone's thinking it.
That whole situation that took place between Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. Now, the black community, Carmelo Anthony, guys, was 110% in the wrong. I don't care how anybody wants to try and defend him. Putting together a whole GoFundMe page, the black community just jumped behind him. And that's one thing I gotta say, I cannot agree with the black community about. If one of your own does something wrong, they need to face accountability. You can't defend people that are guilty. That is a herd victim mentality, and it does nobody any good whatsoever. Why would you defend somebody who is 100% in the wrong? And a similar situation with what just happened in North Carolina at the end of August. The footage that was just released a few days ago about that crazy guy that was on the bus, so I'm not sure if it was a bus or a train, who murdered the young Ukrainian girl for absolutely no reason. The guy's obviously got mental issues. Somebody put up a GoFundMe page for him. Twice. Why would anybody want to defend this guy? Why does anybody feel bad for this guy? Where is the accountability? How come it's not okay for the black community to hold their own accountable? And there also has to be a level of shame. If you guys are not familiar with what I'm talking about, just go on X and just type in the word fatigue and you'll see what I mean. There is video after video after video, and it's only one demographic that these videos are coming from. Don't get me wrong, I know I'm not stupid. The rest of the world's not stupid. We know that there's a good chunk of the black community out there that sees these videos and they're the same way. They're like shaking their head like, man, what the hell are you stupid young fools doing? You're making the rest of us look bad. They need to be held accountable. They need to be shamed. That's the only way they're going to stop doing this.
When we think of what's wrong with Chicago, it's like utopia. Chicago's like a utopia. Beautiful riverfront, beautiful lakefront, concerts in the park, ball games in the park, beautiful architecture, the best food. You know what the one problem is with Chicago that's driving the businesses out of the Magnificent Mile? You know what the one problem is that's making the public transit unusable? You know what the one problem is that's driving richer residents from the city? It's the crime. It's the chaos. It's the violence. And you know what demographic is almost exclusively responsible for it? It's you. It's black people. Everyone's thinking that. Everyone's fucking sick of it. And the way that society is going, stuff is too expensive. Wages are too low. Housing is too expensive. We work too hard to then spend our hard-earned money to go to Lollapalooza, spend our hard-earned money for a fun weekend in the city. God knows how expensive it is to eat out nowadays or to take an Uber. And then to constantly have to be worrying about this. God knows how expensive it is to afford to live in a nice city like New York or Chicago. And then to have to put up with that. People are, I think now, too broke to be woke. People are too broke, work too hard just to be dealing with this kind of stuff and hear BLM and to hear these excuses about slavery and racism and the white privilege. It's enough. So the shame will continue. The shaming of the black community in America will continue until it improves. Yes, we will shake our heads. We will exchange that knowing glance. We will make that face. We will comment. Well. We will name and shame. We will turn and walk away. We will move to neighborhoods where you are not until it improves. And you can deal with each other. Brandon Johnson and the teachers union and all these fucking thugs and opportunists, Jason Whitlock, all the wokesters, everyone making excuses, you can all live in Wakanda. You can keep all that black excellence for yourself. We're good. And you know what? I'm rooting for you. I'm praying for you. I hope you figure it out for your sake, for our sake, but we're done. And how long before a U.S. presidential candidate gets up and identifies the problem? Because the second that candidate comes up, that person's going to win in a landslide. Because we're sick of it. We want our lives back. We want our cities back. We don't want to feel anxious all the time. We don't want to feel afraid all the time. We don't want to live in fear that we're going to wake up and someone's going to steal our car and then we might get in trouble if we respond in the wrong way. Or we're going to be on a subway and get a knife pulled on us and we're going to get ordered to the ground for defending ourselves. It's insane. It's utterly insane, and we all know what's going on. So I saw this Raja Jackson thing and whatever. I mean, it's live streaming, it's professional wrestling. Who knows what's real and what's fake? The reason that it provoked this response is because we've seen the scene. We've seen it before 1,000,000 times, and it's infuriating. And as I said, it's not just the violence. It's this almost pathological, evil, anti-human cruelty, disregard for human life, malevolence. And then listen, people get in altercations, people get in fights. Sometimes there's violence. It is what it is. We all know this is what they do. They attack in packs. They stomp the head. That's what they go for. And it's fucking evil. And that needs to be called out. It needs to be called out by the black people. And if black people want to be loud and proud, they want to be talking about the black community, you must be equally loud in your condemnation of this kind of stuff than you are in your praise when it's the positive things. You can't have it. It's not a one-way street when it comes to that sort of thing.
You have to be equally as loud with your condemnation as you are with your praise when the good and positive things happen. Those cannot be any truer words. This is what I was saying. There needs to be some accountability. This is what he's trying to explain here. Just keep in mind, Nick Fuentes is known as this far-right crazy extremist. Can you disagree with much of what he's saying? Not how he's delivering the message, but the point of the message. And again, I really want to stress here, this is not directed towards the entire black community. It's directed towards pretty much all the thugs, the people out in the hood that just do whatever the hell that they want and they feel entitled to do it. And what's the reason behind that? I'm going to get to this real quick and then we're going to wrap it up and let the rest of his clip play out before we get to a couple other clips. Once again, you guys know what I do on a daily basis. I pretty much will sit here and pick apart the liberal mentality, pick on the Democrats. I advocate for the right, I advocate against the left. And I would say that the black community have been victims of the Democrat Party for decades. And this is what the black community needs to wake up and realize. Why do you think there was a shift with the previous election that just happened? How the black vote went up for Trump? Because some people in the black community open up their eyes and you're like, you know what? We're always told the same bullshit by the Democrat Party over and over and over, and yet my neighborhood still looks like shit. Yet there's still crime everywhere in my neighborhood. Yet there's no new jobs. Nothing is improving. They pander to the black community for the votes. And once they get the votes and they're back in office, they ignore them once again. But the problem is the black community falls for it again 4 years later. And sorry, I'm going to point a big finger, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again very clearly and confidently. A massive problem when it comes to what's going on with Democrats in the black community is the 92% of black women that are resting now. That is one of the biggest weaknesses in the black community. This is who the white liberal women look up to. This is who's keeping you guys trapped and enslaved under the Democrat Party. Now I know slavery is over, slavery's finished, slavery's a thing of the past, but is it? Is it really? Or did the Democrats find a way to still keep them enslaved as voters by making them promises and by giving them government benefits, by making it very hard and very difficult for some of these families to be able to break out of those communities to lead themselves to a better life?
So it's just out of hand. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. It's sick. And we're sick of seeing it, you know. And by the way, this wrestler was like a veteran. They're saying he's a veteran. He took time out of his work to do charity appearances, and he's beaten within an inch of his life. A black guy on top of him punching an unconscious person. Do you know how evil you have to be to punch an unconscious person as hard as you can? To stomp them in the head, and yet you see it all the time. It's just evil. They're not being raised right. You know, and the last thing I'll say is the worst part is you should have some pushback from conservatives, but conservatives are too pussy to say anything like this. I'm not a conservative. Conservatives blame it on the welfare state, the government, the Democrats. Candace Owens and Jason Whitlock say it's the hip hop music. It's Lyndon Johnson and the Great Society. It's the Clinton Foundation. How about we'll start with the obvious? It's the black parents, or the lack thereof. How about it's the black parents? Everybody else seems to have figured out. It starts with the parents. And they'll be in the streets with signs and marching and yelling when one of the homeboys gets shot by the cops. But when their kids are out there stabbing people, beating people, robbing people, oh, well, you know, he was in the honor roll. He was the victim of the system. Get real. What a joke of a country we are. You think they tolerate that in China? You think they tolerate that in the Emirates? You think they tolerate that anywhere other than here, where our people are so fucking weak?
His message may be a little bit rough around the edges, the way how it's delivered. Some ears may take it offensively, but when you sit back and detach the emotion and just listen to everything that he was saying, that was all factual, there's evidence to back it all up. A lot of it makes sense, and I found myself agreeing with him quite a bit. 90% along the way, he really pulled out some serious truth bombs there. So I've put together just a couple of clips, guys. Not a whole bunch. I got maybe 2 or 3 clips here, TikTok clips, that kind of correlate with everything that he's talking about. Some of these type of things that you could find on X. Let's check these out.
Well, one thing I do know about anything in this entire country of America is that if you are in a public space and there are white males there, you have like a 60% chance of dying in a mass shooting. No, not women, no, not black men, not Indians, not Asians, not immigrants, not Mexicans, not whoever. If you are in a public space and there is a white man, doesn't matter what he's doing, doesn't matter what he's wearing, don't matter how tall, fat, attractive, not, there's a white man in the same vicinity in you, there is a 60% chance he will murder you. Why? Why? What's wrong with y'all? Are y'all okay, like, genetically? Why are white men genetically predisposed to commit mass shootings? White fatigue, like, at this point, we have to start profiling. Like, no shade, we gotta start profiling these people.
Okay, let me just point out here, because once again, you guys remember, right? Black people can't be racist. It's just not in their blood. They just can't do it genetically. They're not permitted to be racist. It just doesn't happen, guys. So no matter what they say, we're just taking it the wrong way. We should just listen to what they're saying because they cannot be racist. But if you go by this girl's numbers here, she's saying if you're a black individual and you're around a white individual, there's a 60% chance that you're gonna be involved in a mass shooting. So if that were the case, if these numbers were actually accurate, wouldn't that mean that all other races would be extinct by now? Because I mean, that's, 6 out of every 10 times, right? All other races would be extinct. This would just be a completely white planet if that was the case. I find a lot of people now are trying to have a lot of fun with these whole mass shooting statistics, right? Because apparently it is a 95% ratio when it comes to mass shootings at schools. It always seems to be a straight white man is what they like to say. Now, you guys will even notice the last one that was a transgender woman got classified for a short period of time as a straight white man or a cis white man. I came across some numbers the other day and I kept them aside because again, I planned on making this video about a week ago, then I kind of put it on the back burner and I wasn't gonna do it. And then I said, screw it, we're gonna do this video anyways. So I pulled up some numbers here. Now, between 2017 and 2021, these are the stats that I found available on X here. I just kind of stumbled across these. But in that 4-year period, black on white, so black people attacking white people, violent incidents totaled 2.38 million. That's quite a bit, guys. That's quite a bit. In that same time frame, white people attacking black people, 0.37 million. That's a massive, massive difference. But again, now she's talking about mass shootings. I just want to point out that the violence seems to be coming from one direction here in this situation. But when it comes to mass shootings, if you expand it and you get gang violence involved, just outside of school shootings? Because a mass shooting is any more than 4 deaths is considered a mass shooting. So if you get gang violence involved, the demographic switches drastically. And on a final note, something that I found a little bit funny here, she was going with her old narrative and then she said, and why? And she didn't have the answer to why. Like, she stumped herself because her story is that full of shit. Remember, if you're in a place, you're out at a club, and if there's one white guy there, remember this, guys, 60% chance there's gonna be a mass shooting, as per her.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even like seeing white people on my timeline. You know what I'm saying? Because black people, we are the ones that make TikTok what it is, you know? We make this app popping, you know? So I don't even like seeing them on my timeline. And another thing that pisses me off is that the fact that they be on here with their mediocre ass content and be having 300, 400,000 views and stuff like that. But yet, you know, it takes so long, you know, for black content creators to even get to that point. You know what I'm saying? We have to constantly keep pushing out content just for one of our videos to go viral. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy for them to go viral on every video, but it's like trying to go viral as a black content creator on TikTok is like playing the lottery, playing a scratch off, matter of fact. You know, so you constantly buying these scratch offs, spending your money until you finally hit. You know what I'm saying? I'm over it. Like, stop playing with us, you know? They don't want us making money on this app. That's what it is. It's a bunch of jealousy.
So just as we were talking about before, guys, I mean, this is a completely separate category because it's got nothing to do with violence or anything like that, but there's absolutely no accountability. Look what she's saying is that white people on TikTok make terrible content. It's us black people that are making it pop. We make it pop off. Yet somehow these white people get 400,000 views per video and we don't. It's because they're holding us back. It's out of jealousy. So what she's claiming is that TikTok is racial profiling, identifying content creators, saying, oh no, that's a black person. We can't let the algorithm favor them because they're black. We can only favor the white people. I'm just gonna make something very clear to any black content creators that are on TikTok. I hate to say it, but what makes TikTok pop is white liberals. The gay ones and the women. Those are the ones that get all the views. They get tons of views. They put out the most wacky content and people just flock to it. Now, don't get me wrong, I've seen some good black content creators out there. I've seen some really good conservative content creators out there that get a ton of views as well. But the ones that get all the views, guys, I hate to admit it, it's the liberals. And the funny thing is, the liberals actually sit there and claim that, you know, TikTok's been taken over by conservatism and that it doesn't favor them anymore. But no, that's not true. All the videos that go popping off are the liberal videos. So once again, what we have here, I'm sorry to this lady here, it has nothing to do with jealousy. It has nothing to do with the algorithm holding you down because you're a black individual. Take the accountability and realize that maybe the content you're putting out there just is not that entertaining. That's the end of it.
To the white bitch that has said something about slap your mama this evening, y'all are always inserting yourself in places where no one fucking wants y'all raggedy, musty, milk-faced looking asses, bitch. We don't fucking want you around us. Stop giving us your opinion about shit that we got going on, okay? We don't want you around us. We don't give a fuck about your opinion. We don't give a fuck about what you do. You are unseasoned, unfiltered, and uncultured. Bitch, you're paste. Go somewhere. Jump off of a fucking cliff. Eradicate you guys yourselves. Nobody likes you. Nobody wants to be the fuck around you. White fatigue is so fucking real. Bitch, we are tired of you guys. You white people give one thing to society, and that's hatred. You guys have taught everybody else how not to like you or anything that you represent. Okay? That is why everything that's cultured bothers y'all unseasoned, unfiltered, milk-made, pasty, mayonnaise-filled asses. It is the year 2025, bitch. We are coming full throttle, ho, and we're stamping on your necks, and we're telling you, we don't give a fuck about your fucking opinions, bitch. Run the fuck up and tell a black person to their fucking face how the fuck you feel about them in our culture, ho. And I guarantee you, bitch, you will end up on a fucking shirt, probably. Stop letting the internet put a battery in your motherfucking back, ho. Because now, how's your social media doing? You had the audacity to go out and get online and say that shit. Like, bitch, what? with your face in the fucking camera. With your face in the fucking camera. Do better, ho. Do fucking better. Because we are here to tell you motherfuckers. We are coming. We stepping on your necks. We right here at your fucking front door, bitch. Say it to our fucking faces. Fuck the internet, ho. Say it to our fucking faces. Bitch, you were in a store. I'm pretty sure a black person was around you. I dare you. Go back in there again and say it to a black person's face. Don't buy it. Ooh, what the fuck is this? Whatever the fuck you said, ho. Do it again in front of a black person. I guarantee you. The pressure will be applied and you will never say it again. I guarantee. I promise you that. Y'all have a battery in your back that's going to be removed soon. And I am so here for it. I hope you have the life that my God has planned for you, bitch.
Okay, I'm halfway through her clip. I had to pause where she said the only thing that you white people offer all society is hatred. I'm sorry, that's absolutely incorrect. To anybody in the black community that would have the same mindset, the same worldview that this young lady has here, I would just like to let you know, it doesn't matter what her skin color is, that is what you call a mental illness. She's got a victim mentality. Everything is everybody else's fault. She's been held down. She can't excel because white people are holding her back. I've seen the clip that she's talking about. It's a white woman in a grocery store picks up a seasoning called Slap Yo Mama. And she's like, why the hell is it called this? And she puts it up to the camera and says, don't buy this. That was it. That was the full context of the video. And it set this girl off on this type of storm here. She is just completely freaking out. Completely racist, calling people pasty, you got no culture, you got no seasoning in your life. Are these offensive words really called for over a damn spice seasoning? But for some reason, this white lady talking about Slap Yo Mama spices really pissed her off, and she feels justified that she can say the words that she's just throwing out there now. But I gotta keep in mind, I have to remember here, black people can't be racist. Genetically, it just can't happen. They can't be racist. It's landing in my ears incorrectly. So I'm gonna keep that in mind. Let's get back to the rest of the clip. You actually have the audacity to say that about a spice. You guys gotta remember, this is about a spice called Slap Your Mama. You have the audacity to say that with your face on camera, yet look at what this girl here is doing. The complete audacity of how she's speaking about white people with her face right on camera. And then she's talking about, like, you know, time is almost up. Our foot's gonna be on your neck soon. We're gonna take that battery out of your back soon. So her anger obviously stems from much, much deeper than just a spice called Slap Yo Mama. You're not allowed to speak about black people unless you are black as well. So if this young lady here stumbled across my video, oh my Lord, would this piss her off that you got a white guy, a cis white man, sitting here telling you how it is and how you're making a fool out of yourself and how racist you look, how racist you appear to the rest of the world. This is what you call black supremacy. You know this thing you guys always want to talk about when it comes to white supremacy, white fatigue? Well, you're putting it on full display what black supremacy truly is. Now, if a white person talking about your culture angers you that much, this stems from something much deeper. And by the look in your eyes, because this girl's got that crazy bulging look in her eyes like a lot of liberals do, this is just screaming that there's some mental health care that may be in need. And on a final note, don't take this in any threatening way. Anybody in the black community, please do not take this in a threatening way whatsoever. When somebody is this confident, jumping on camera and indirectly threatening anybody that's not her culture, I think it's only fair to remind her and remind other people that have this type of frame of thought that you're on land where you only occupy 13% of all the population. So I don't know, who are you threatening? The other 87%? It just kind of really doesn't make sense there. But either way, her clip makes another point. This doesn't have anything to do with accountability, but this has to do with shame. How could you have looked at this video and thought, yeah, perfect, I'm gonna upload this. I look like I'm in charge. I look like I'm setting things straight. I'm looking like I'm putting her in her spot. That one pale white girl that picked up seasoning called Slap Yo Mama and said, don't buy this. And she got ripped out just for that. And not just ripped out, racial slur after racial slur after racial slur. So, as Nick Fuentes was asking earlier in the video, where is the shame? All right, guys, that is it for this one. I know this one turned out to be a little bit longer than usual, but I wanted to throw something different out there for a change. If you guys are new to the channel, you like this type of content, please consider subscribing. If not, if you can like the video, share the video, pass it around, interact with it in one way or another, that'll be greatly appreciated. Of course, I still have one more clip lined up for you guys, and until next video, have a good one, guys.
Okay, y'all, so I want to address something. So white people think that they don't need to be sorry for anything that their ancestors did. They don't need to right wrongs that their ancestors did. They think that, at least when it comes to black people, they think that it has nothing to do with them and that they're free from any kind of judgment because of it. But the fact is that you as white people are obligated to right wrongs that your ancestors did. You're obligated to do that. And you have done it for every other ethnicity, if you will, besides black people. So yeah, you should feel bad because you have not corrected wrongs that your ancestors did. The responsibility falls on your shoulders. And you shouldn't be sleeping good at night. And you should feel guilty because you have the ability to right wrongs. And so now I see these videos about white people wanting black people to stop talking about it and don't make me feel bad about myself and I'm not a bad person and yes, you are. You absolutely are. You are, because you have chosen not to right wrongs that you know that your ancestors did, that you know that benefit you. And we as black people, we're not going to stop talking about it. We're not going to stop reminding you. We're not going to stop. If you don't want to hear it, too bad. Because you can't shut us up. And so you want to feel good about yourself, but you're not going to feel good about yourself because we're going to constantly remind you of your responsibility and your obligation to right the wrongs that have been done to our ancestors. And not just to our ancestors, the wrongs that are still being done to black people. And you are well aware of them. You are well aware of how black people are being treated. That's why you voted for Trump. So yeah, that's what it is.